In today's video, I want to talk about conviction. That basically was my day today. I had one trade. I was one and done. I was convicted in the trade. It wasn't a massive P&L as you'd think, when you hear the term one and done, the phrase one and done. We'll get into it as I get into the actual trade itself and I'll explain a little bit more. But just having that conviction, staying convicted in my thesis, and letting the trade play out. It was a battle. It was almost a 3 hour trade. It was mentally exhausting, but at the end of the day, I stayed true to my process. I ended up adding another trade in another account as I got a second confirmation on my thesis as price kind of played out, which gave me the exact same price I entered at, but it just gave me a much tighter stop, so putting on a lot less risk. But I'll get into these things as we go over everything. I know we struggle as new traders with just staying convicted in an idea. So I've really been trying to come into Monday morning with kind of a goal to set. And I did this last week with increasing my size. Now that the volatility's calmed down quite a bit and we're having these smaller opening ranges, I want to get back to a place where I was trading 1 to 2 minis. And I did that last week. This week I did the same thing, but instead I went back to micros, just giving me a little bit more flexibility with my sizing. Say I wanted to be, I wanted 750 of risk on my trade. Well, with 1 or 2 minis, I was kind of either I was going to be 500 or 1,000, just based on my stop, just doing rough math. So I wanted to be able to have the option to have 15 micros on, like 1.5 minis, and kind of go from there and see how that worked for me. And it actually worked today in my favor. We will get into the actual trade itself. We'll get into what I was seeing at the desk in the morning when I got there. One other thing that happened over the weekend was I had the winner from my Top 1 Futures 50K straight to funded account giveaway. I announced that. I did the good old wheel of names. Arshad R won the account, which is awesome. For anybody that doesn't follow me on my other socials on X or on Instagram, that's the Randy Baines on both. I posted the video live on there, and it was actually funny because you had a 1 in 13 chance of winning. So if you had purchased an account through me uh, last week, I believe it was from Wednesday to Friday, whatever the dates were for the actual giveaway, the entry, and you would have basically got entered into every purchase got you entered into the draw, and it gave you basically there's 13 entries into the draw. So a 1 in 13 chance to win a $400 value account. Now think about that. This is not going to last forever. Eventually, the following's going to grow. It's just the way it works, and that's my goal anyways. So, as the following grows, there'll be more and more entries into these giveaways, and then obviously the odds get harder and harder. So, something to keep in mind. My next giveaway when it comes up, if it's for a straight to funded account, I would definitely, and if you're in the market of buying an account, I would definitely, get one through me. So again, and like I said before, I'm not making any money for doing any of these videos. I don't get paid for any of this content. So, if you're in the market of buying an account, I'd appreciate it if you used my code. And if you're not getting an account, that's cool. It's either way. And if you don't get an account through me, it's no big deal either. At the end of the day, is you're watching this video, you're taking the time to watch it. If you're taking something away from this video, whether it's your trading or it's your psychology or anything, that's good enough for me, right? I just want to pay it forward. And that's kind of the goal doing this. So at the end of the day, I'm good either way. But let's get back to trading. Let's get back at having a peek at the charts and we'll go from there. And let's look at what I saw when I got to the desk this morning. So getting to the desk, we're obviously in this bullish uptrend. As much as people want to be stuck on this tariff news and bearish sentiment and all this thing, we're going to have instances where the sellers are going to be able to put their foot on a gas a bit. I just think that we're in that kind of market conditions where you will still have volatility if it can show up there. And clearly what happened here on Friday afternoon is just before the very end of the actual trading, not the New York session. This is where, it trades for another, I think it's an hour. Basically at 4:45, the Moody and the Fitch ratings came out, the downgrade. First time in U.S. history their credit's been downgraded. The sellers took that as a sign to put their foot on the gas, and what did they do? They just dropped price down. Market closes Sunday night. We get this gap down. Sellers are still in. They're trying to clean up here. Buyers step in briefly. Sellers get below the daily VWAP, and they put their foot on the gas into the London session, and she's gone. And if you look at the big picture, this is just, it's just a healthy little pullback. Like, you know, it's still a higher low. You can see coming into the New York pre-market, price pushes back up, and I actually got to the desk at 9:45, so that's 15 minutes after the New York Open, and I don't trade till after the opening range is set, which is 15 minutes after the New York Open. You could see that it was just straight up from there. So this is the way I would look at this. Even if I got to the desk at, say 6 a.m. and this candle hadn't printed yet. Price, obviously, we're below here. I could see us getting back above this daily VWAP, and this previous day value area low is either going to show as resistance or it's going to show as support. So we could get back up here, price could reject. Now, if price rejected this level, I could look to get short. If we're under this previous day value area low, I could look to get short in between here and here. Now, if we get above it, I could see price either wanting to do this, coming up to the point of previous day's point of control, rejecting off of that and going up, or the other way. But as long as we're above this, and if we get above this previous day's point of control, I'll be long for sure. But I could see price easily doing this, coming back, going like this. So a couple things I'll look at. We stay below this previous day value area low, I'll be looking for shorts. We're above it, I'm looking for longs. We're above the point of control, I'm really looking for longs. I got a naked point of control up here at 6,008. It's just something I've been watching now. I've been doing volume profile, that if we get breakthrough all of this in the next few days, this will be a target of mine the closer we get to it. But we'll see as we get closer to that. As we break, let's break 6,000 first. Let's go from there. Let's get into the one trade I took. Sorry, I had this all set up. I recorded the video earlier and it didn't record audio, so I'm making it again. I'm kind of making it on the fly because I'm a little bit tight for time. So this is my trade basically. I get long 15 micros, not 10. This was a typo, but I missed this whole move up here. I was, not at the desk. I got to the desk around here, and if I saw this, I would have took it, but I was actually getting my computer set up, looking at charts, setting some stuff up. I was going to be on the ASFX stream this morning, so I was getting more ready for that than just staring at the charts. And what happens? I missed that move, but if you look at what happens here is we get this bullish push up, point of control, bullish candle above it. We get another bullish candle breaking the previous day's New York VWAP. And again, another bullish candle up to the previous day's value area high. Price rejects cleanly off here. I want to get long. I'm kind of antsy. I'm rushing it, you can say. But it's just something, I don't want to be in the markets long. I'm trying to trade for the first few hours of the day and be done. So I rushed this trade a little bit. I rushed it probably by about 10 minutes. I could have got a much better price, but it is what it is. I had an idea. I had a thesis. Price is going to do this. We're going to pull back. We could even pull back to the previous day's New York VWAP and then up like that. That's my idea. So I have this massive 20-point stop. The reason I have this massive 20-point stop is I seen this on Friday where I had a tighter stop and we came back down to the previous day's New York VWAP, sliced New York VWAP, and we found support here. Now, originally in my pre-Friday, if I was trading, I would have put a stop here somewhere. Now, what would that have done to me mentally when I took this heat here? Would I have just closed the trade because I got within a few points of my stop? Or maybe my stop was here and I got stopped out. I have to remind myself, I need to give this trade some room to breathe. I need to give price some room to breathe. And now that I got previous day's New York, the New York, and the point of control below me, I got 3 clear levels of defense that I can use for support. Anyways, what happens? Price chops around. We stay above it. Look at these nice holds of this previous day's New York VWAP. Price chops around, chops around, chops around. And we get a push higher. I missed this move. I'm not at the desk. As price pulls back down here. I like this hold of this high a day VWAP that I got from back here where my original entry is. And I like this pin here. I decided to get long in another account. It's just a confirmation, but I have a much tighter stop now. I was able to move my stop up to here and go from there. And basically, what does it do? Price just keeps pushing higher, takes this high a day VWAP, and as we get up and fill this gap on this kind of move here, I decide to take half off. This gap could fill, price could just pull back down. I've been in this trade for over 2.5 hours. I'm done with it. I move on. And I'm just exhausted, so I'm good. I end up taking and I get stopped out here on the other half of each trade. I'm up 350 in 2 of the top one futures 150K accounts, and I'm up 865. The 865 is kind of the number I want to be around. I want to be around 1,000 plus per trade, but it is what it is. I missed this move. I could have added in. I could have done. I was smaller size because I had a bigger stop. Lots of things I can say why I did this, and I'm happy. It's exactly what I wanted to do, and I did it the way I wanted to do it. So I'm good with that. So at the end of the day, I'm up $1,600 on 3 accounts. You can't go wrong with that. And I'm content, and I'm done. I locked the accounts out because I don't want to think about it. I'm going to be at the computer making my videos, doing this stuff, and I don't want to get induced in anything. And what did price do? Price just kept going higher and higher and higher, right? But that's trading. If you're able to accept that, you did what you wanted to do and followed your rules, and now you're good with the P&L that you take out at the end of the day, all that stuff doesn't matter. So that's that. I'm done with that. Have a quick peek at the calendar. And yeah, that's how I like to start my week. I'm up 1.57K in 3 accounts, 1 trade in each account. So I'm good with that. I'm up on the green on the week, obviously, but look at this. I finished last week up 1.15K. So if I can get, double that this week, I'm headed in the right direction. I'm going to take it easy one by one, go from there. Again, loving Project X, loving these risk settings, having my account locked out and all these things. I guess you can hear my little guy's teething, but welcome, I guess this is the world of being a new dad, right? So for anybody that doesn't know, I have an 18-month-old, and I started to learn to trade a month after he was born. I actually wanted to start a few months before when my girl was pregnant, but I just wanted to be there for her, and it was the holiday, so it was really important just to focus on her being well and the baby coming and all these things. And now he's here, and I literally a month after he was born, I went full in on my trading. So thanks to the Black Shirt Club, thanks to James Bruce, thanks to Austin Silver, I'm still here. I'm making this content. I took my first payout, 2 payouts actually, just roughly almost a month ago now. So headed in the right direction. And again, top one futures, with my discount codes, 40% off. It's the best discount right now out there. And you're going to get 2 free add-ons, an anytime payout add-on, and then no daily loss limit add-on. So you're going to get those 2 free bonuses plus the 40% off. And, to be honest, I'm loving trading with them. I'm only trading with them exclusively right now. I'm able to manage these Project X accounts nice. The risk settings are really, really good. Project X is just a great software for new traders. It doesn't have the specificity that Tradeovate and NinjaTrader and some of these, institutional level platforms carry, but the ease of use and the understanding of how it works for a new trader is second to none. Tradeovate, you can have an order open and get, the order gets picked up when you're not even at the desk. And I've blown 20 accounts like that. So, and I've known multiple people that have blown many accounts in the same fashion because they just didn't realize they had a limit order or something was open, and Tradeovate you didn't flatten everything before you were done at the day. But I didn't even know what flatten meant until that happened. Anyways, that's a story for another day. But top one futures discount codes in the comments. As always, guys, I love it. Thank you for being here, taking the time to watch, and comment, subscribe, the whole routine. I'd love some feedback, and I'll catch all you guys tomorrow. Cheers.